Hello people of the internet, I'm Island, and in today's video I will be continuing my Big Chad Guys Plus Plus playthrough, which was asked for in the comments of the last video. Thank you to the people who did comment on that video, because I honestly thought about dropping this series due to YouTube not pushing it as much as I would have liked. But yeah, thank you guys so much for commenting on that video. But before I do get into the video, I do want to make a quick announcement. I have gotten my first sponsor, that being Dubby Jitterless Energy. I haven't got a chance to try it on my own yet. However, I have heard many great reviews, and I do have an order of my own on the way right now. I'll let you guys know what I think of it whenever I receive it. What I ordered was the starter pack, which comes with 3 packets of different Jitterless Energy flavors, as well as 2 caffeine-free hydration packets. Because you know we gamers need as much hydration as possible. It also comes with a shaker bottle, and alongside the starter pack I ordered a sticker pack and their Season 1 anime 1-liter jug. And Dubby is used to promote focus while gaming without sugar, calories, or any added artificial flavors. So if you want to use Dubby to help you get the dub today, consider using my link in the description and use code ISLAND, that is 1SL4ND, for 10% off. And I get a little bit of commission out of it too. If you do order it, let me know what you think of it in the comments of one of my videos. God, it feels weird doing my first sponsor. Anyway, let's get into the video you came for. Back to where we left off in the last episode, day 5 I planted some big spruce trees so that later I can get a bunch of wood easily. I then made some copper pickaxes and went back down into the mines, since in the last episode I wasted all of my iron making a gyrodyne. I made a big tunnel with ultimine, which allowed me to find a lava pool, but other than that I didn't find much other than a little bit of iron, copper, and gold. After breaking all of my copper pickaxes, I decided to go back up and smelt the ores I got. I then made a ton more copper pickaxes and planned to go back in the caves. However, I realized it was nighttime and I still had a quest to kill a creeper, so I attempted it. I hit one and then sent my Pokemon after it. However, the Pokemon killing it didn't actually count. Annoyed at this, I ran around looking for more creepers, but of course when you want one to show up, they don't exist. To pass more time, I ran around collecting apricorns nearby and found a cute little Phantump and wanted to catch it. And guess what walked from behind the baby tree? A creeper. I quickly slayed it and completed the quest, and then engaged the Phantump in battle. Sadly, my Torkoal one-shot it, however, but there was a stronger one nearby, so I caught it with relative ease, and then put on some super cool shades. Completing all the mob slaying quests actually gave me a full set of iron armor, a shield, and an iron longsword. On the morning of day 6, I tried to plant some new apricorn trees, but many fucking skeletons tried to sabotage me. Luckily, they paid me back pretty well by dropping a rare hat bag, and it dropped a cute Nyan stuffed animal, so I slapped it on my head and threw those shades in the hat chest. I eventually went back to the caves where I found some morkite, which can be used to smelt 6 items, which I'll actually end up using instead of coal to smelt, just so I can use coal for torches for light. I soon found an open cave and went through it collecting all the ores. I stumbled my way through, and after almost getting a stack of iron and breaking all my copper pickaxes again, I decided that I should probably head back up. As I made a staircase, I found a vein of diamonds that looked like just 2 or 3, but it turned out to be 10. This pack must have bigger vein sizes because I thought the max vein size was 8. I eventually got back to the surface and actually ended up with more than a stack of iron. At the top I found a well structure with a chest that gave me a venomous bow and some arrows. The venomous enchantment just has a chance to apply poison, so it's pretty much useless against zombies and skeletons along with their variants. I stole the grindstone from the well and headed back home. When I got back home, I claimed the Diamond Quest rewards, which gave me a diamond pickaxe, and I also found out about the Alloy Forgery, which is similar to the Seared Furnace from Tinker's Construct. You can make different metals by mixing them together, and as of right now, I just use it for normal ores, and I have done that all the way up until day 24. I haven't really messed with it other than that. However, you can use it to duplicate ores every couple pieces. Day 7, I also finished a quest that gave me all the vanilla seeds and then asked me to get 10 of each crop, so I worked on that for a bit. A lot of this video will be boring quest completion things that I will probably skip, so if I seem to skip through some days, that is probably why. Anyway, I stole some dirt from the other side of the water and then made a build wand to build a dirt platform on the water. However, apparently build wands don't work on top, like intersecting water, because the water blocks it. So I built it by hand, and just my luck, a thunderstorm started. I stood out in the rain and bone mealed my crops for a bit. I also planted some berries up by the hill. However, the lightning eventually got too close to comfort, so I went to bed. On day 8, I woke up and fueled the smeltery and decided to go mining for some obsidian. Completely forgetting the lava that I found earlier, I made a quarry hole straight down. Eventually, I fell into a cave that had a house in it. As weird as it was, it came with some iron, so I'm not complaining. Not to mention, around back I found 3 diamonds, and inside I found 7 more within the barrels. And also there was some moss, glowberries, gold, paper, and books for enchanting. After that pleasant discovery, I found a slugma in the lava fall. I stole the lava and then tried to waterboard it. However, this slugma must be a little bit hotter than your average Minecraft lava source, because he didn't turn into stone or obsidian. I took some more lava and found even more diamonds, and eventually I found a lava pool instead of a lava fall. I turned it all into obsidian and began to mine. Thank Notch for Ultimine because it saved me a ton of time here. Since I completed my journey for Obby, I decided to head back up, but I got distracted by the beauty of a lush cave, which, like a siren, led me into danger. The danger being a mimic, which I ended up sicking my Pokemon on. It drops some bunny slippers which give me perma jump boost, however, I like the step height of my running shoes, so I left them on for now. In a chest I found a crystal heart trinket which gives me more max health on top of my gained hearts from trying new food. Another mimic tried to attack me and didn't live long enough to regret it because I never brought my Pokemon back in. This one dropped a snorkel which gives me water breathing. Eventually I crawled my way out of this viney dreamscape. At the surface I found a beachside camp that had a mine with a lot of gold blocks at the top of it, so I snatched the goods and then headed back home. After returning home I made a nether portal. That's it, I'm not going in there, are you crazy? Just kidding, I tried to go in, but some monsters distracted me, and then I got distracted by making an enchanting table, which I didn't do because I got distracted by planting sugarcane on my dirt path on the water, and then I got distracted by some fish because I wanted some new food hearts, and finally, I got distracted by the notification of a shiny Geodude. Yeah baby, that's right, a shiny. I rushed straight over to it and totally didn't get lost even though he was clearly shown on the map. I found it in a creeper hole. What a coincidence, because right as I stopped behind him, a creeper stopped behind me, and by stopped, I mean stopped living because motherfucking suicide bombers. Anyway, the Geodude was unfazed by the explosion, so I battled it with the muscle mice. We brought him down to half health with only 1 Hyper Fang. They died soon after, however, so I brought out Grottle and immediately threw a Slate Ball, catching my first shiny in this world. I am so glad they give you a notification about shinies because I 100% never would have noticed otherwise. Since it was already level 28, Geodude was already ready to evolve, however, I held off on that for now. The quest for catching a shiny Pokemon gives you a rare plushie box, which means you should have a high chance of getting a good plushie, and I got a piece of fucking string. Anyway, I found an Eevee who wouldn't stay in a ball, so I had to battle it. But eventually it saw my point of view and got put in the PC. A PC which I don't have. So now I have to make a PC, which is pretty cheap, just some iron and glass. I searched some quests to see if I could get it for free, and learned about the free Poke Healer that I talked about in the last episode. All I had to do was defeat 5 Pokemon. Which I had already done, but it doesn't count because I didn't start the quest line yet, and catching a Pokemon doesn't count as defeating them. Anyway, I speedran through many Mons, and got the free Poke Healer, and then I made the PC. By the way, I know I haven't said the day in a while. It is day 10, but on that note, you may see under my map it says spring day 11. That's because it counts day 0 as day 1, so it's ahead. Anyway, back to the video. Anyway, after making the PC, I took Eevee out and saw what its ability was, and decided to name it Maharaga. If you've seen Jujutsu Kaisen, you know why. I then put Eevee back in and evolved my Geodude into the giant meatball that is a shiny Graveler. This reactivated the shiny catch quest again, and this time the plushie crate gave me a gender swapping bear. If I click on it, it changes from blue with a normal tie to pink with a bow tie. I set up the enchantment table, grindstone, and anvil over by the nether portal, and then Graveler decided to test Joker's theory on laws and Pokemon. I discovered that some Pokemon will go aggro in defense of others. Day 11 I spent a lot of time battling Pokemon, and I also discovered that the only backpacks in this pack are the Traveler's Backpacks, which the nostalgia part of me loves, but the part of me that has to make them hates. At the end of the day I found a Tyrant that I wanted to catch, however he wiped out my whole team because I kept trying to catch him and didn't want to risk killing him. After he killed everyone I care about, I killed him for revenge. Day 12 I went out to hunt some Mons that drop weather such as Tauros and Miltanks, and I actually ran into another skeleton horse that apparently didn't learn its lesson last time because it and its friends tried to jump me yet again. I took a trip in the Gyaradyne for the first time and found a village with a cool pond nearby. Might actually end up building something here later on, although I haven't done it yet. The next day I returned home after collecting quite a bit of leather and decided to make a backpack. After doing so, I filled its tanks up with water for some reason, and I finally got to work on what I got all the leather for, and that is making bookshelves for the enchant setup. I needed wood obviously, so I chopped down the trees I planted at the beginning of the video. Remember that? No? Don't worry, brain rot has got its toll on me too. I only had enough books for 12 shelves, and as you may or may not know, you need 15 shelves for a max enchant setup, so I went hunting yet again. As I was trying to return home, I got too hungry to fly the Gyrodine, and it fell to the ground. When I got home, a creeper climbed into the Gyrodine, and I sent Torkoal after it. It easily got taken care of. While searching for more leather in my chest, I got distracted by my diamonds and decided to finally make some weapons out of them. I made a cool rapier and great hammer. The rapier, of course, is for speed, and the hammer is for higher damage. Finally, I got enough leather to finish the enchant setup and immediately began to grind for an enchanted book, with Fortune 3 on it. Why? Well, because it's a quest and I want to finish it. However, this is a waste of time and XP. You see, there are a lot of quests that give like 100 XP or a level of XP or a few levels or whatever, but it's still a waste of a ton of XP and lapis along the way. Anyway, I kept trying this anyway, and between doing that and harvesting crops, I kept getting more levels through the quest from the crops, so I kept grinding this and ended up wasting a few days on it. After finally completing the crop quest from earlier, I got a modded crop quest, which gave me some modded crop seeds in order to plant them and get 10 of each of them. However, they didn't give me lettuce seeds, and luckily I had some. However, it's lettuce from another mod, so it didn't count, so I can't complete that quest either. After getting annoyed at these two quests, I went to the Nether for the first time, and I spawned in a biome with a lot of bone blocks and quartz. I discovered that the Nether is full of ghost types, which kind of makes sense considering it's supposed to be hell. I then grabbed some glowstone and ran off. I soon discovered a fire desert, which had a new blaze variant, which I killed and got some red sand from it. I decided to play baseball with a ghast, but kept striking out, so I left him alone and went to gather quartz and soul sand. Eventually I went back to the overworld and made the daily shop block, which lets me exchange coins for items every day. How do I get coins, you might ask? Well, I put items into a selling bin, and then I sleep, and then the items get converted into coins. I unlocked the quests that allow me to get XP for every new piece of food I gain, so I took advantage of that and tried to grind for the Fortune 3 book again, which you already know didn't work. After running out of XP, I gave up. Just kidding, I then began to grind more quests, such as completing the Gyrodine upgrade quest, as well as making a biplane, and many create blocks that I don't know how to use, just to gain some XP. So yeah, a lot of days are wasted on just crafting create blocks. Eventually I decided I want to go on a trip to find another village using the Explorer's Compass. I don't remember why I wanted to go, I just did. Anyway, on the way I stopped by a structure to loot it, and there were a lot of skeletons inside. I ended up dying there, and this was many blocks away from camp, and I had my Gyrodine on me, so I didn't have a way to get back there. Anyway, do you remember that biplane I talked about earlier? Well, I didn't actually craft it until now, so I took the time to craft it, and unlike the Gyrodine, it needs fuel, not leg power, so I had to fuel it up with coal and other fuel blocks that you have to use for like furnaces and stuff. Anyway, I made my way back and stole all my loot back and went to the village that I originally set out for. Even though it was a fortified village, there weren't many special things about it, except there was this Zubat stuck in a toilet, so I battled it for a little bit. Anyway, pretty much I just stole some furnaces and honey blocks, as well as honeycombs, and a few minor pieces of loot, and then I went back home. At home, I wasted all my time trying to get Fortune 3 and get more blocks to sell for coins. And that's where I left off at the last time that I played. So I guess that's the end of today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. And like I said in the intro, the comments are the only reason that this video actually came out, because YouTube didn't push my video out like I would have liked it to, so it didn't get many views. However, there were a lot of comments on that video saying that they actually wanted that video to be longer and wanted more videos like it. So here's this. But yeah, thank you guys for that. Another thing I said in the intro that I would like you guys to think about is if you want to support me, consider checking out the link in the description for Dubby Jitterless Energy and use code ISLAND, that is 1SL4ND, for 10% off, and I also get some commission out of it. So yeah, if you guys would like to do that, consider checking it out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.